Good morning, everybody. It's the Snowbird Gardener. We are going to have the June garden tour. And you might wonder why I'm all dressed up warm. Well, it rained last night, and it is kind of cool this morning. But the flowers and the plants loved it. So let me show you what we've got here. June garden tour. So everything in the buckets in this area, everything's doing well. First of all, we've got some kind of a cucurbit here. See, I don't know what it is. It has these lobes in the leaves, and it came up in the compost bin. So we'll be surprised to see what it is. It's got some blossoms coming up down in here, some buds. So we'll see. Next, we have basil. Oh, I love the basil. It smells so good. I use it in my cooking, and I like to break off a little leaf and carry it around in my pocket because it smells so good. We've got the last of the carrots. It has not bumped up here where it touches the soil. That's how you know when it's ready. It'll kind of push up. It'll push the soil up. I've got a French breakfast radish here. Another one over here. In this bucket, I put a little cutting. I took off one of the tomatoes. And again, some French breakfast radishes. Hoping I can eat those. Ooh, I don't know if you saw the video, but I ate the first squash off of the scalloped squash, also known as patty pan. And it was so good. Oh my goodness. It just had the mildest flavor. It was so juicy and yummy. Then let's see here. Let me open this gate and take you to the back row. Okay. Next, we've got lots of blossoms on the cantaloupe. I just love it. The tiny little blossoms grow into those big old cantaloupes. That one looks very happy. In this bucket, I've got the yellow pear tomato, cherry tomato. It's just getting its first blossoms here. And down inside, we've got the sweet cherry pepper. Yeah, those little bitty ones that are round and they don't get very hot. I wish it was growing faster because I want to eat those. Next, we've got a pumpkin. See how this leaf is different than the one over there that's undisclosed? That one over there had lobes going way back. This is the regular pumpkin. Well, it's not regular. It's the little tiny one. It's going to be that little bitty. Now here we have a tomato from seeds that I had last year. Let me get over here where you can see it. And that plant is really doing well. Look how tall it is. It's really strong down in here. I don't know if that's just the seeds that liked it here, liked these conditions last year, and that's why it's growing really well, or if it's because I have a piece of a ginger planted down in here also. Last year I had ginger that came up, and so far it hasn't come up. So maybe the ginger down underneath is feeding this tomato plant. I don't know. But it's a cherry tomato plant also, and it has lots of blossoms. Over here I have another cutting that I took off one of these tomatoes, and I just stuck it in the ground. I didn't even soak it in water or anything. I just cut it off, stuck it in the ground, and this one's doing pretty well. They might work. I've got a secret plant down in here. I thought it was a tomato, but the older it gets, I don't know, it might be a pomegranate. It doesn't look like a tomato. All right. Here's the back side of that scallop squash plant. I have a big old blossom that came out yesterday. So we'll hopefully get some more of those because they were so good. Now on this side we've got the 4 popcorn plants, and I'll kind of show you. This one seems to have 2 ears. One here, one up here. This one seems to have 4 ears. There's the big one up here. See how big that is? down here. Looks like there's one here, another one here. You can tell where you see the silk coming out, and one over here. So now last year I took off the extra ears, thinking that I should let the plant only grow one ear. But then I read up on them and it said just leave them because the plant knows what it's doing. So we'll see how many we actually get to mature. Love looking at these top tassels where they give off the pollen. So pretty, huh? Kind of interesting. This one has a really dark colored stem, and the other ones, oops, don't have as dark a colored stem. See that one there? And that one there? Okay, and then I just trimmed back the sunflower because the top flowers were all spent. And I got one little guy here. And I don't know if that's going to give off anything else or not. It's starting to look like something's growing here. But the leaves are looking like they are about done. Now over here, same thing with the potatoes. They're turning yellow, looking like they're about done, which is wonderful because I know with potatoes, I think it means that you're supposed to be able to dig them up, get some potatoes to eat. Yum! Got a bean plant right here, purple bush beans. Look at the pretty blossoms on there. They almost look like a little type of a snapdragon, don't they? Almost in that form. But I love those purple blossoms. And this cucumber is kind of growing up the tree again here. I think I've showed you this before, but maybe you haven't seen it. I try to put the tendrils so they'll grab a hold of the tree. And also the lace here, they grab a hold of. Let me go around on this side and see if you can see. Yeah, the tendril. This tendril is grabbing the tree. Yeah, it's so cool. Oh my gosh, and there are so many little cucumbers on there. I haven't even counted them. There's so many. It's like each time there's a blossom, it's like a little bitty cucumber. All right, they're coming around this way. We've got the 100 hybrid cherry tomato. And it's got quite a few on it. Let's see if I can point to them. There's one right here. There's one back in here. You see that one? There's one right up here. I think this one kind of likes it here. In fact, I have grown this variety before, and I was able to get some fruit. So, hopefully, that one will keep being happy. Oh, I've got to show you this. This is just too cool. Right here by the shed, there is a pine tree growing. Wouldn't that be cool if it grew? I don't know. It's kind of close to the foundation of that shed, so maybe not, but I just thought that was so cool. Here's why. I'll show you a couple more. Now, up behind the shed, right here by this ice plant, there is, a little pine tree. It's got two little branches. That would be so neat if it would grow up here too. Just never know about these little things. Right beside it is an oak tree. Came up by itself. It's doing pretty well. Kind of big. The oleander's got its flowers over the top of it, but it's looking pretty healthy. I just love volunteers. I love it when some tree just grows on your property. It's so cool. Okay, so I guess we got off on this pine tree tangent, but here is one right here on the side of this hill, and it's really doing well. It started out as just a little bitty thing too, all by itself, growing where it knows it's growing. It's going to grow the best. And while we're off on a tangent, got to show you my two little white doggies. Hi, little white doggies. You happy? You're being very photogenic today. Thank you. Buddy's in the car, taking a snooze. Okay, we're going to check out these over here. This one had garlic that I haven't pulled up yet. Everybody else in the neighborhood in my local garden club is harvesting their garlic. Mine's turning yellow here at the end. And my harvest is pretty scrawny compared to a lot of them around here, but you know, it's my first year growing garlic. But in the front here, we've got a dill, and it really took off this month. Look at this. It's got its first, I don't know what you call it, a group of flowers. And the rain kind of surprised it last night, made it bend over, but it had been sitting up really nicely like this before the rain. I guess it never experienced the rain with its flowers showing. Down here I've got a few of the French breakfast radishes that I'm hoping to eat. And this group over here, we've got 2 onions that are flowering. Those are some I just got from the grocery store and stuck in the dirt. And at the bottom, I've got some more French breakfast radishes. It was fun to eat the greens. Like right now, I could cut them and just eat these little things, but I want to see if I can get the actual bulbs to eat. I've still got a month or so here, so I may get some. Here's a nice bean with some more pretty purple flowers. Here I've got another little piece of a tomato that I cut off a big plant and stuck in the ground. How it's growing. Oh. And I've got another volunteer that came up in the compost bin. Some kind of cucurbit, but I don't know what kind. Here we've got another bean with purple flowers. Boy, we may be eating some beans here. And lastly, I've got my jelly bean, cherry tomato. And so far, I think there is one. Look at how cute. This is the first time I've grown that type. So it'll be fun to see how they look, if they really turn out to look like a jelly bean. How cool. Or maybe they taste like a jelly bean. I don't know. But we got a lot of flowers on here. So that's it for the June 1st garden tour. Hope you enjoyed it. We have a few sayings here in Southern California. One of them is, we call it May Gray. And that's pretty much right. We had a lot of overcast days in May, but we did have some sunny days also. So we have May Gray, and then we're just moving into June Gloom, which again, a lot of overcast days. But you know, it makes it really nice because then when it gets hot in the afternoon, it doesn't get quite as hot because we've had a little bit of overcast skies in the morning. So I will see you again next time. We are heaven bound because Jesus said we could be, and I hope you're heaven bound also. Receive him as your Lord and Savior. I'll see you again. Adios.